How to think about investing. Today we are going to unlock the secrets of the investing strategies so that you can actually be successful with investing your money. I am Tiffany Thomas, your wealth mentor. I achieved financial freedom in my 30s and became a millionaire at age 40. I'm here to help you do that even earlier and easier. So let's dive right in. All right, today we are going to learn how to think about investing. And I'm going to share my knowledge and mindset on how I was able to invest successfully to become a millionaire and become financially free. And make sure and stick around until the very end of the video because I'm saving the best for last. All right, the first thing we want to do when we are thinking about investing is to define our investment goal. What is it that we want to achieve with investing? This is what I did, and one of the things that I wanted to achieve was to become financially free. So when I set that goal, I could figure out how I could become financially free. But if I never set that goal in the first place, then I never would have worked on becoming financially free because it wouldn't be on the top of my mind. I wouldn't even be thinking that I could achieve that goal. So really think about why you are investing. Are you investing to save up for a down payment on a house? Are you investing for retirement? Are you investing to leave generational wealth for your posterity? What is one of the reasons you are investing? What is your investment goal? And I want you to comment below and tell me one of your investing goals. And we want to make sure that we are very specific with these goals. We want a certain amount tied to our investing goals and a certain date so that we know exactly how much money we need to have and the date we want to have that amount by. For example, if you want to have $1 million invested by the time you are age 40, then you would know exactly what you are working toward and you can start to work backward to achieve your goal. And this is going to make it a lot easier to invest your money because if you know specifically what you're working toward, then you can figure out the best investment vehicles that will help you achieve your goal. And the second thing on how to think about investing is to think about the risk and the reward that you will receive. With investing, there is always going to be some risk, but what is the reward that can be tied to that risk? We want to make sure that we are taking calculated risks and not just being extremely risky and having the chance of losing all of our money. We want to figure out what our risk tolerance is, and I go into more detail about figuring this out in another video. I will leave a link above. You can check it out later on. But we want to make sure that we aren't taking on too much risk that it is going to affect our decisions with our investments. For example, if we see our investments drop significantly in the stock market, are we going to pull those investments out? Or are we going to think, you know what, I know those will come back up over time and we can still continue to invest. And we for sure want to be taking enough risk that we are going to get that reward. If we just leave our money sitting in a savings account, that is very little risk and it's also not enough reward. If we want to retire one day, we need to be investing our money. And one way we can do that is in the stock market. So if we are wanting to build our wealth so that we can retire, we want to make sure that we are investing in stocks. And that way it can build our wealth. If we are investing only in bonds, that is more about preserving our wealth. So we want to take on some risk and invest in stocks so that we can get that higher return. We also want to consider our time horizon. If we are retiring very soon, then we may want to switch some of our money over to bonds from stocks. But if we have plenty of time to invest our money, then we could have everything invested in stocks and be fine with that. We want to strike that right balance for our own situation. For me personally, when I first started investing and didn't really understand how to invest, I did have some money in bonds, but once I realized that I wanted to be growing my wealth and I had plenty of time to invest, this was in my 20s, I got rid of my bonds, and so now I only have money in stocks, and I also have money in real estate. But I don't have any money in bonds because I still want to continue to grow my wealth. And then the third part on how to think about investing is to educate ourselves about investing. Investing does require us to continue to learn and become more educated about the stock market or about real estate or whatever it is that we want to invest in. We don't want to just blindly invest. And we definitely want to know exactly what it is we are investing in. And we want to be able to explain it to someone else so that we know for sure we fully understand what we are investing in. I made this mistake a few years ago. I had asked my old 401k rep what he thought I should invest in. I wanted to be investing more money than I was. And he suggested a life insurance policy, and it was a whole life insurance policy. And I thought, okay, he knows what he's talking about. So I signed up for this policy, but I didn't fully understand the policy. And I ended up regretting that decision later, and I canceled my whole life insurance policy. And I lost thousands of dollars, but if I would have kept going, I could have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Honestly, I now invest only in things that I understand and that I can explain to someone else, because I do not want to get caught in that same trap again about investing blindly and not really understanding the investment. And when we are educating ourselves, we can definitely seek some professional guidance, like a financial coach, for example, or there are plenty of YouTube videos out there, or podcasts, or even books. For example, I do have a book out, You Will Be Financially Free, which covers my investing process. So there are different assets that we can take advantage of to help us become financially educated about investing. And if you do want help from a financial coach from me, I do have a free masterclass on how I can help you invest in the stock market. I will leave a link below in the description. You can click on that and check out the free masterclass. And then the fourth item on how to think about investing is to keep a long-term mindset. This one is so important. A lot of times people get caught up in the short term and thinking they can get rich overnight, get rich quick, and so they make bad investment choices. But if we can keep that longer term perspective, we are going to be a lot better at investing. I know this is true for me. I have gotten caught up in the short-term wins and thought, oh, okay, maybe if I do this investment, I can double my money fairly quickly. And after I did that, I thought, Tiffany, why did you do that? You know better. So this is a constant learning process, and I've gotten better over time. No one is perfect, but the more that we can keep a long-term mindset, the better investor we are honestly going to be. Because when we are investing in the stock market, it definitely goes up and down, and it can go down pretty far in the short term. And if we are so caught up in the short term, we are going to either take out our investments or think we can make a quick win on certain investments. And honestly, it's probably not going to pay off over time. We want to invest as though we can repeat this process again and again so that we can be successful. I like doing what I know works because I know it works. And it's not worth it for me to take a risk on something that is probably not going to work for me. There might be a slim chance that it does, but I've realized that I know what works, and having that longer term mindset really helps me focus on what I know works so that I can actually build my wealth. That is how I was able to become financially free and become a millionaire. So let's take advantage of that compound interest and let our money grow over time. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and share it with someone else who would like to hear this information. And hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and hit the little bell to get notified on when I post new videos. And if you want to see even more great content from me, make sure to check out the videos on the side of the screen. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.